Sia, thanks for your time again. So there are calls for fast food outlets to operate and allow takeaways. That's what many first world countries are doing. What's the impact on that, on businesses surviving and the economy?
Sure. Look, I definitely think it would help, particularly because, the fast food industry being a blue-collar job that can't be done from home would benefit from the economic activity given the shutdown that they've also faced as the rest of the country. But it would be difficult to see how they can implement social distancing within the restaurants or where people order, particularly for point-of-sale transactions, unless obviously they implement some of the social distancing regulations that have been implemented in the fast-moving consumer goods retail sector. But definitely it would have a positive impact by allowing some, particularly small businesses in the fast food industry to resume business and improve their ability to survive during this economic recession and difficulty we're having with the pandemic.
So we also know that the alcohol industry pumps millions into the economy. There's also a call for booze to be sold during this period. It definitely will help save some jobs and add much needed money into the national fiscus, wouldn't it?
Sure, but I think I would caution against people sort of making a trade-off between, economic activity versus saving lives or the pandemic response. With things like alcohol, I think even if we don't even look at the number or do a cost-benefit analysis, we can see that our health system would be definitely strained if on top of the COVID-19 patients, they have to deal with alcohol-related medical patients, etc. So I definitely think that although certain loosening of the lockdown being phased and structured or planned would definitely help the economy to survive, but I think we need to be strategic on which areas of the economy we allow activities to resume. Even if you look at some of the bargains that have been taking place between the DTI government and the liquor sector, such as day sales or requiring takeaways, some of these measures won't necessarily have any impact in terms of the public health ramifications of allowing alcohol sales to resume, given what we've seen if you look at any of the numbers prior to this. But I think the alcohol sector is definitely one that needs to be reviewed in terms of whether it should be prioritized to resume economic activity.
So the DA is calling on or for different stages of the lockdown, somewhat like load shedding, it says, to allow for some businesses to operate as we get a grip on things. What do you make of that idea?
Sure, and I think this is definitely the idea that government has given the president's pronouncements on the 9th of April, that they are looking at planning a phased relaxation of the lockdown. However, government really needs to balance its ability to enforce restrictions with the need to create some relaxation for the economy to survive. And I think it's a very difficult balancing act. And I definitely agree, and multiple calls have been made also by lecturers from the University of Wits that we need to look at it from a staged perspective rather than a complete lockdown and expect to open up completely overnight. And I think it needs to be strategic in terms of what sectors or areas of the economy we open up without jeopardizing in terms of human lives and the impact of the pandemic.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Sia is the Director of Political Economy, Southern Africa.